Hello, and welcome to the Wyoming 4-H New Volunteer Orientation. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've divided this orientation into 4 sections. In the first section, we'll look at the history of the 4-H program and the structure of the 4-H program. The second section will look at tools and philosophies of positive youth development. In the third section, we'll talk about ages and stages of youth development and competition. And in the fourth section, we'll look at safe practices to use when working with youth in 4-H. This training will cover learning more about 4-H and your role as a volunteer. It will also help to strengthen your understanding of how to work with youth through 4-H. Thirdly, it will encourage safe practices for 4-H youth and for yourself as adult volunteers. 4-H is not a new organization. 4-H has been an active part of American society since 1902. 4-H was started when extension agents were trying to share new ideas in growing corn with farmers. Farmers were apprehensive to try something new, and extension agents, now called educators, met resistance. In order to continue their educational efforts, the agents used boys to start new corn crops, with the results being corn yields that were much higher than that of their traditional methods used by their fathers. The photo on the left is the beginning of 4-H, showing boys taking pictures with their bountiful corn yields. Corn clubs for boys and canning clubs for girls were the start of 4-H in the United States. Let's take some time to watch a video that completes the history of 4-H and brings us to present-day 4-H in America. The video has a great summary of where we are and where we started.
It began with the seed of an idea. In 1902, the heartland needed folks to embrace new advances in agriculture. But leaders with open minds, strong hearts, and willing hands weren't in abundance. Luckily, kids were. By empowering the next generation to lead, 4-H took root and grew and grew and grew. Grew kids who are confident and strong, who are curious enough to question, and capable enough to find the answer. You stick to a job until the job gets done. You know how to work with others and how to lead. 4-H is kept right on growing. Out of the farms and into the towns, from the suburbs to the cities. Anywhere curiosity roams and confidence thrives. Anywhere technology can be advanced and achievement is valued. Anywhere positive change is possible. And giving back moves entire communities forward. When you think about it, it makes sense that we began with farming. After all, true leaders aren't born. They're grown.
The good news is that 4-H today offers projects beyond growing corn and canning tomatoes. 4-H works to reach the needs of youth throughout Wyoming and the United States. In 4-H, we offer projects in agriculture, family sciences, arts, technology, and so much more. When you think about it, do you think you can guess the top projects in the Wyoming 4-H program? You may be surprised the top project is not even related to agriculture. Let's take a look. The largest project in the Wyoming 4-H program is Rifle, with over 1,400 youth enrolled. Our second largest project is Swine, followed by Archery, Beef, and Sheep. The fifth and sixth projects actually deal with photography and arts and crafts, so you can see we really diversified from corn and canning. Most of us are familiar with our local 4-H club and maybe our county program, but 4-H is so much bigger than that. In addition to your club at the local level, which involves members, volunteers, and parents, 4-H is impacted by county commissioners who help to fund the 4-H program in your county. The county program is guided by your 4-H educator, who receives feedback and ideas from 4-H county committees. At the state level, the state 4-H office works to develop trainings and opportunities like this for volunteers and members. 4-H is part of the University of Wyoming Extension System, which means the extension director and the university president are also part of the 4-H program. In addition, we receive state funding, so we rely on support from the Wyoming legislature and the Wyoming 4-H Foundation to help fund the program. 4-H reaches all the way to the national level. The national 4-H staff are part of the United States Department of Agriculture, and funding for 4-H is made part by legislation from the United States Congress. The 4-H program is supported by a unique blend of tax funds, county, state, and federal, and also private donations. State and federal tax funds are used to help pay extension staff salaries and to provide educational materials. County money also supports salaries and the operation of the local extension office. Our unique set of funding sources also means that we must meet a unique set of requirements. The 4-H program may ask you to answer questions, follow policies, and fill out paperwork that's not like any other organization. The model above is part of the reason why this happens. Our funding also means that programming is different by state and county. If you move to a county program, even if both counties are in Wyoming, you may find that business is conducted a little differently in each county. You want to check with your 4-H educator if you have questions about confusing or differing procedures related to 4-H programming efforts. Since UW Extension receives federal funding, we must follow the UW Affirmative Action Plan. This ensures that all 4-H members and volunteers are treated equally, regardless of their race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, age, veteran status, sexual orientation, or political beliefs. You may notice this disclaimer statement on documents created by any UW entity. In 4-H, we work to make every reasonable accommodation to help youth and adults participate in our program. In addition, we're required to follow policies of the University of Wyoming. One of these policies when working with youth is that volunteers receive training. This is one of the reasons we ask that all new volunteers participate in new leader orientation. This concludes section 1 of the new volunteer orientation. After this section, please take time to answer a short survey to show us that you watched this module. Then join us in module 2 to learn more about the Wyoming 4-H philosophy and tools to help you with positive youth development.